Well, good afternoon, and welcome to this week's edition of Drive Facebook Live. I'm your host, Bob Spitz, with my co-host, Tony Whistler, and our special guests today are Veronica and Armando from, and now it's very interesting how they came up with the name of this shop. Uh, A, what is it? What are the three initials again?
XK?
AXK.
AXK Collision in Florida. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first, right off the bat, how did you come up with that name for your shop?
Actually, I was the one that came up with the name because he's the first letter of all my kids. So
There you
the
go.
first one is Adrian, Xavier, and Keanu.
Very good.
Are they old enough to appreciate that yet?
Yes,
Or they don't
Yeah.
care?
they're actually old enough to appreciate it, but as the years go by, it's kind of like dwindled.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, welcome, guys. So happy to have you here with us. So tell us about how you got into this business and how you ended up in the shop you're in and all of that.
Okay, so how we got into this business was that my husband had an opportunity to be an apprentice with my uncle. He has a shop of his own, and we had moved from New Jersey to Florida because we got married. And so he gave him an opportunity to just have some work. And while he found whatever he wanted to find, and it ended up being a career that my husband enjoyed, and he ended up working for a few shops before venturing off into the business by himself.
All right. Taking that
Mhm.
what we call sticking your courage to that sticky place and taking the
Mhm.
deep dive into, oh boy, I now own my own business.
And you
Yes.
and you were both in New Jersey, and then you both relocated to Florida. Is that how it worked?
Yep, exactly. We got married. 3 days later, we were living in Florida.
Well, that was the first right move.
So
Yes.
you went on a honeymoon, you took your honeymoon in Florida and said, "Hey, we like it. We're just going to stay."
It wasn't quite like that, but we did plan it and we love it here. So
Great.
Yeah.
He was
So
more
tell us
com-
about your shop, Armando. How big is it? How many paint booths? All of that.
It's my shop now. It's probably like 6,000 square feet. I got one paint booth. Uh, got front office,
Mhm.
parts room, mixing room. Um, pretty much it.
And
Uh,
how many
stainless
techs
steel.
how many techs do you have working for you?
I have 5.
Wow.
Mhm.
So you don't actually have to be in the shop anymore. Yes? No?
Yeah,
Sometimes?
that's a that's a hard one.
He enjoys working, so he does get into the machine, but we're teaching him to get out.
So what's your
Yes.
specialty? Are you a paint man or a body man or both, or what do you do?
I was a paint guy first, but I learned the trade
Mhm.
pretty pretty good
Mhm.
in all the years that I painted. So um, I got some good experience of doing. I can do it all.
Very good.
Well,
Mhm.
that's very handy when you own a shop because you can
Yeah.
tell whether or not your guys are baloneying you or not.
Oh no, yes.
Oh, yes.
Uh, or telling you something can't be done.
Well,
No.
Yeah.
that, yep.
I get I mean, I've learned from a lot of people, even to the ones that don't know much about it. So I tend to just have open mind to just learn from anybody something that I don't know.
Okay. And do you work primarily on passenger cars and light trucks?
Yes, I do a semi here and there,
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really? Interesting.
only if it's referred by a friend of mine that drives semis. But other than that, I mean, if it's just paint and just cosmetic, I can do it.
Now,
Yeah.
do you hire like really top-notch guys, or do you train guys? Sounds like with your knowledge, you might train a lot of guys.
Well, yes, my painter was actually, he opened this shop with me a while when I first opened, and then he ventured out. And then I got him to come back.
Mm,
So he was always visiting. So finally he gave in, and I've been, you know, he's doing pretty good. I still do a little training here and there. Um, Everybody else, the main body guy, he pretty much, it's a tech. He don't need much help. I don't
right.
think he needs help at all. And my other tech, he pretty much knows everything out on in the business. I got still training him and tweaking him here and there to do the things the way I want it done. But
Mm,
it's and we just hired somebody else that's also a
And A tech.
person that knows from A to Z, and he's pretty good. I known him for a long time.
great.
Well, that's
And
good.
how
Then
long
you
have you
have
had
more
him?
than one. You have more than one person who can paint.
Yes, three of
And
them.
and when did you hire him?
Yesterday, he's coming
Ah,
in on Monday.
Yes,
Nice.
yes,
all right, Veronica, you're going to have to do that onboarding.
yes. I have to do the onboarding and collect all of the information.
That's right. You have your checklist handy.
Absolutely do.
Okay, good.
Handbook's
Very good.
the handbook's already done,
Ah, well
and
done.
we were just waiting for the tech to come into play.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're gonna
Excellent.
you're gonna
Excellent.
put that handbook into use.
yes,
Very
absolutely.
good.
You know, I
Mhm.
missed this. Maybe you said it, but I might have missed it. How long have you owned the shop?
Since 2007.
2015.
Yeah.
Mhm. It'll be 10 years next year.
Okay, well, you've done well because a lot of people within that first 10 years, one, they don't make it. Two, they're still struggling trying to man it up, and you've got a crew, and you have a now the collision industry is such a moving target,
Mhm.
both with the technology of the vehicles, uh, the material that you have to use, and also the organizational structure of the business.
Yes.
And in some collision shops, the person who first greets a customer is a customer service rep. Some call them service advisors, some call them estimators. How
Mhm.
do you have your front organized, Veronica?
The way I have the front is I have my service advisor slash estimator take care of the client. She's a 2-for-1. She has a lot of knowledge and she's been in the industry for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And so she's able to help educate clients, and we go back and forth between clients. But she's my primary person. You walk in, the office is set up as a stress-free environment for my customers because it's just, they've been in a collision and we want to make sure that they're taken care of and we take care of them together.
That's
Right.
excellent. Now you say she's slash estimator. So Armando, are you blueprinting?
Yes.
Okay. Is she part of the blueprinting process or do you have someone else in the back?
No, actually, my son, which I'm training to do the shop the
Production.
production management.
Mhm.
So I'm training him. So us together in the morning with her, we go through all of that together, so we know where we at.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's kind of important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Having
Very.
those production meetings are so vital to lay
Yeah.
out the day and what needs to happen and
Yes.
where are we hung up for parts, especially. And I hate to hear that these dock workers might go on strike
Mm.
and we
Well, I
don't need
just
that again.
I just heard this morning that they sealed the deal. They're out.
They did seal the
Oh
They're
deal.
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're
That's
back.
great news because we
Yeah.
don't need another COVID fiasco.
Yeah.
Not,
Oh, that was
Enough
a
with the supply
fiasco.
line. Enough with the supply line
exactly.
disruption. We've had enough of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, whose paint do you use, Armando?
We paint.
Hmm.
It's Metalox.
And you're
I'm
happy
not
with their
familiar.
product?
I have no complaints.
Good.
Good.
And they give you good support.
Yes,
Their software is good for mixing and
yes.
controlling the inventory because that's one of the black holes in every collision shop is wasted material.
Before I use other paint lines, higher end paint lines, and throughout all this mess, they had a mess. So
Very.
I went with this one, which I've used before, and the paint store that I buy stuff from, they're on point. So anything I need, any help, they sent the tech, their tech, same day. I've done it. I've had it almost 2 years now, and I have not had one problem, and that cannot be
Yeah.
solved like within the day. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that's why I like it.
Yeah, because some of the higher end cars, the paint on them is pretty sophisticated. And getting that right is, especially when you're having a blend,
Yeah.
that's an issue. Yeah.
Well, Armando's actually certified in doing the blending and the painting and the color matching and all that stuff. So that's another level of service that we provide here. So that way we are able to, give our clients the quality work. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent.
good.
As a friend of mine used to say, as it should be.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
But now you got to
Armando
get that
doesn't like
knowledge
to,
out of your
Ar-
head, Armando, and into your son's head.
Yeah. I mean, personally, there's a lot of computer technology as far as paint matching and all that stuff. There's, you know, don't work as good sometimes. So knowing how to do it, um, it helps because I can pretty much mix colors from scratch if I have to. So
Well, that's a good eye.
it helps. It helps.
Yep.
It helps.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, there was an interesting article recently in Auto Body News about one of the many challenges you face in collision, and that is getting insurance companies to pay for the correct amount of blending that you have to do.
Yes.
And instead of just a straight 50% or whatever it is, it could be much more depending on what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually work very well with the adjusters. We actually had one of our insurance company adjusters here just this morning, and we threw the red carpet out. You know, they come in. Oh, you need to charge your computer? Sure. Here's the outlet. You want some coffee, water, whatever it is, and we just find that if you kill them with kindness, because they're the front line of their role, and so they're getting hit left and right between, the insurance agent or the customer or another insurance party, or sometimes even the attorneys, because that happens. And so I just want to give them something different. And so that's what we do. We try to kill them with kindness and show them that we're there to help them do their job.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
About 20 years ago, I wrote an article called Friends or Foe.
Mm,
Is your insurance adjuster your friend or your foe? And if you treat them like a foe, don't be surprised if you have problems.
right. Well, he waited until we got something done, and he was able to have, I brought him out a little table, and he waited, and we were able to do that. And then in the long run, it helps our customer. So
Oh, absolutely.
we're
Right.
in and out, and we're taking care of their insurance agent while we're taking care of them.
Yeah. And
Just builds
that's
that
the thing
rapport.
that everybody always has to keep in mind is the consumer,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
you work for the consumer, the insurance company works for the consumer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the first common thing.
Yeah.
And you create those commonalities. But yeah, I think you're right. If you build the rapport, just like you would with a potential customer, or even any vendor that you might use, like your
Mhm.
paint vendor or anybody, you build that friendly relationship, business relationship. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing to do. But I think that we all agree there. You'd be surprised how many collision shops in America don't actually think that way. They don't they don't think the way you guys think in that
Mm.
regard. So
I
I think it's
think
it's a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very important because I mean I've dealt with adjusters, you know, as an employee and as an owner. So you know, just building a good relationship with them, it's important because one, there are certain things that they truly can't do. But you know, if they can help me on this car with that next car that they can do something for me, they will do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't make it on this one, but you know what, he'll do the extra on the other one if he, you know, so either way, I'm getting it, not on this
Right.
one, get it on the other one because they got more wiggle room, I say with certain cars than others. So but yes, having that relationship with them, it's a key.
Yeah. I mean, we all wish that all jobs would be winners, but that's
Mhm.
kind of unreal. There's there's
It-
just some
right.
jobs that eat your lunch
Yeah.
and you
And
just have
and it's
to
important for
learn
them
from it.
to know that we're building trust too. So that way, they know that if I call them, they know that it's a real situation. I'm not wasting their time. I'm not trying to be a squeaky wheel, but it's something that if they see my name pop up via email or phone, it's because I need their attention.
It's meaningful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's building rapport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's absolutely necessary. Do
Mhm.
you ever get any requests for restoration, Armando?
Regrets?
Regrets? No.
No, what do you mean?
No,
I didn't hear what you mean.
Restoration.
restoration.
Oh,
Like
ah,
my 57 Ford. No, I actually don't
Does
have one. It's
anybody
just a
ever come
dream.
in asking you if you'll do a restoration?
I get a lot of people because I used to do a lot of restorations.
Uh,
You know, they come highly, you know, I come highly referred by people, but I don't. The last one I got, which I got it like kind of like a month ago, was because I didn't want to do it,
I don't blame
and
you.
he said, "What do I have to do?" He said, "The only way I'll do it is you have to gut the whole car and just bring me the shell of the car. I I do all the sheet metal, I do all my lines, everything perfect, but I paint it, wet sand and buff it, but you got to put it together." It's okay, no problem.
Mm. And
All
then the other
right.
thing you say, as you say, and the other thing you have to do is give me your credit card, and I'll just
So
hit
I'll
it
that's
just keep
whenever,
I'll keep hitting it as I need it.
as I need it.
and, and then you know I did the body first, then he took it because he had to do certain things, and then like maybe I want to say like almost 2 years later, he finished what he had to do, and I thought that he would forget about me, but no, he didn't.
You were
But
hoping, you were hoping you would forget about you.
yeah, but when I priced it high so that way he'll say no, but he
He
said,
said yes. Well,
yeah,
that's kind of like customers who want you to paint their whole car.
I got it. I got it the
Yeah.
next day, so it's getting painted next week.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 1960
For the 1960
Oldsmobile. It's a
Oldsmobile.
64. I don't even know the name because I don't like the car. I don't know why. But and
You
he
you
wants to
never
paint
know with customers. You never know what it's.
and he wants to
What they
paint it.
love.
He wants to paint it with lacquer paint just like they did back in the old days. I said, why are you gonna spend all this money to put lacquer on it? I said, no, that's how I want it.
Can you shoot lacquer in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do
I
that
have
in
I've
California.
only done a lacquer car maybe once. So this will be a challenge.
Mm.
Yeah, my wife and I many years ago we had a detail shop, and going back on, it's amazing what customers will want to restore and how
Yeah.
much money they're willing to spend. And I was working closely with Hollywood Mercedes, and I was the last person on the line because we were detailers,
Mm.
and this woman restored a 1973 Mercedes 450 SE. Why? She she spent $38,000 restoring it. That was
Wow.
1990.
Wow.
Wow. That emotional value is very
Yeah,
high.
very high. So, you just give them a big enough price.
I tell people truthfully, there's certain people that come with certain cars, that they want to restore, and I said, I'll be honest with you, you can buy the same car already done,
Adrian,
beautiful,
no.
for less money than what you're gonna pay, for way less money than what you're gonna pay restoring it. I'm like,
Right.
I mean, I'll do it, but why wait a year or 2 years, you know, from paint to finish, whoever does the finishing, when you can just go get one next week and he's
Oh,
already
yeah.
done it for way less money. But
Well, sometimes they're really connected. Like they go, this is the car that I bought when I was 16 or something. This is
Yep.
the one that matters. All of my favorite things happen in this car.
Yeah.
You have a sentimental wife, huh?
well, I got a true story one though,
Let's
because
hear it.
we got a 1970 Chevy El Camino SS that
Oh,
we
Mm.
bought from my father. So I got offered a bunch of money for it.
Mhm.
So I said, well, you know what? I can sell it and I can just buy one, get one, another one, and just give it a quick paint job. And I'm like, I'm pocketing all this money. It's the same car. No. It's,
Absolutely not, because that is the vehicle that my dad bought from a junkyard. It had all the rust and it had all these panels all messed up. I was about maybe 6, 7 years old when he bought it. And I would do daddy-daughter time with him. He'd restore the vehicle's motor and engine and all that, all the things in the car because he was a mechanic. And that was my time with him. And unfortunately,
Great.
my father has since passed away. And so my husband took the vehicle from that butter yellow and black stripes to a red with white stripes, which was one of my father's dreams to do. So I
That's great.
have a father and husband combo on this vehicle. And when I had the opportunity to purchase it, I was like, that car is staying in the family. And we were able to purchase the vehicle. And that vehicle is actually displayed on our website. And you can see a before and an after on it. But that's why it's not sellable, because those memories are the ones that I cherish.
Oh,
There you
that
go.
vehicle's going nowhere.
That's right.
Nowhere.
I'm gonna send her on vacation for a couple months so I can do what I
Uh-oh.
want to do.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to strongly recommend you don't do anything with that vehicle.
There's
Let me
that's
give you a little bit of
definitely,
advice.
yeah, give them some advice, because that's not happening.
Now, the 70 was a beautiful El Camino.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it 396?
454.
454. Much better than a 396. Yeah, that's
I don't
a
drive.
stout
It comes out
engine.
of the garage. It comes out of the garage maybe one time every 2 months, if that.
I don't care. It's staying right where it is.
That's
By the
awesome.
way, a fellow collision shop owner, Jack Brito, from up here in Oregon, says hello. He's watching.
Hey.
Yeah.
So you just finished the sales training for collision shops, right? You were in the
Yes.
sales training with collision shops, right, Veronica?
Yes.
I was going to ask, from a standpoint of like doing training with Drive, you want to share anything about your training with Drive? Like I've noticed you guys have done more than a few action workshops, and you have done your fair share of some master workshops as well. So I wanted to get your take on how it's affected your ability to run your shop.
Well, I enjoy wholeheartedly the trainings. Um, there is a lot of knowledge that is shared on the trainings, especially for someone that does not have a background like my husband. I bring in a different aspect, more administrative numbers wise, but every industry has their way of doing things.
That's
And
right.
so where my husband, he teaches me some, but having the training with Drive has greatly opened up my mind to how administrative wise I need to help run the business. And I've also made some great connections with a lot of people that I never thought I would be able to have clear across country, and been able to like not only pull the knowledge from the instructors, but talk to these owners and see what challenges they have and pull from them, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. If
No,
Right.
one has figured it out, let's take that and let's add to it and make it better.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I consider the drive trainings, and they're fun. They're so much fun. And you know, they it's those little things that add to what we already do that make a bigger difference.
sure.
Right.
It's great to have those aha moments in training.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
Yes.
I never thought of that.
And it's
and that-
also good to hear that I'm not the only shop going through
Oh,
something, you know.
yeah.
absolutely,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. You're not the
Oh, by
only
the
one.
way, your coach is watching, Nancy Ellis.
Hi, Nancy.
And the other thing is that I love that you said that you get to have that peer to peer with other shops,
Yes,
because it is, we don't call them lectures because they're not lectures. They're never
correct.
designed to be a lecture. They're workshops where people get together and they converse and they talk about things. They talk about each other's problems and they figure out solutions with each other. That is an incredibly valuable and powerful part of what I love about our workshops. And so I'm glad that that's been beneficial for you.
Yeah.
I really am
Ano-
happy to hear that.
Another question that came up was, you're a Monday through Friday shop.
Yes.
Were you always a Monday through Friday shop, or did you
No,
transition away from weekends?
we transitioned away from weekends. Thank God.
Long,
And long
long
days
day.
and long days. There were days that we were here like until midnight sometimes, but that was when we were smaller, before we started getting employees. But we started off as a 6-day-a-week shop, very old school traditional. And we came to a point that we're like, no, we need to do Monday through Fridays, because you know, it also, this is a very labor intensive job. And so just having one day with family and trying to do everything you need to do in one day is just not enough.
No. It's hard to believe our time is almost up, Tony. We better do a station break. And don't forget to mention the relief fund.
That's right. We have a Hurricane Helene relief fund. It's a GoFundMe that you can
Mhm.
go to. We have you can get to the link from the Drive Facebook page, and I'm sure Carolyn will put it in the chat as well. But it's a relief fund, and if you're in Florida or you want to help out the shops in Florida, it's just to help anybody who's having real difficulty from the hurricane, because that hurricane was pretty rough. And
Yeah.
anytime we can help our fellow man, it's always a good move.
Yeah.
Also, we have next Friday. Let me grab it really quick. Next Friday, October 11th, we're going to have special guest client Ryan Bethel of RDI Power, and they're in Brooksville, Florida as well. So I don't know how close Brooksville is to you guys, but
Oh,
we're gonna
it's about 2 hours.
about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so he'll be on next Friday, and of course we go at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern.
Right.
And that's the commercial break. Back to you, Bob.
Okay. Well, to close out, I want to first congratulate both of you on the Best of Florida Award.
Thank
You
you.
should be very proud. That's so well done to
Thank
win that award.
Yes.
Keep up the good work. And Armando and Victoria, it's been so nice having you on the show with us. Thank you so much for joining us. But believe it or not, that half hour is already up.
Yep.
Well,
And I
well,
called you Victoria. I'm so sorry, Veronica. Oh my
Veronica.
gosh. I
okay.
called you Victoria.
It's okay. We actually enjoyed the conversation too. It's pretty cool just to get together and sit around and have, you know, a one-on-one with you as well. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Thank
All
you.
right. So from all of us here at Drive Facebook Live, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all later.